We analysed the women's 400 metres final at the World Athletics Indoor Tour in Toruń, with a focus on what truly determined the outcome. This is not just a recap, but a detailed breakdown of race structure, athlete positioning, and critical moments under fatigue. We examine how Femke Bol built control early, how the chasing pack responded, and why small technical differences became decisive in the final meters. The goal is to show how elite indoor 400-meter races are won through precision rather than speed alone. The race opens with a controlled acceleration where positioning matters more than raw speed. Bol does not force the pace but gradually builds momentum, entering the first bend in a stable and efficient posture. This allows her to avoid unnecessary corrections and conserve energy for later phases. Behind her, the field remains compact, but already small gaps begin to form due to differences in stride efficiency and rhythm. Through the second 200 metres, the race transitions into a phase where fatigue starts to influence mechanics. Here, Bol's advantage becomes visible as she maintains relaxation and balance. The women's 400 metres final at the World Athletics Indoor Tour meeting in Toruń was not just a fast race, but a clear demonstration of how modern indoor 400 metres is decided by control, positioning and technical precision rather than raw aggression. The field combined experienced championship athletes and rising European contenders, yet from the first phase it became evident that Femke Bol approached the race with a structured plan that separated her from the rest. Her opening 100 metres were not explosive in the traditional sense, but highly efficient. Instead of forcing maximal acceleration, she built speed progressively, keeping her stride length controlled and her cadence consistent. This allowed her to enter the first bend already in a stable position, avoiding the micro adjustments that often cost energy on tight indoor tracks. By the 150 to 200 metre mark, she had established race control without showing visible strain, which is critical in a 2-lap indoor race where early overcommitment almost always leads to deceleration in the final 80 metres. The key phase came between 200 and 300 metres. This is where many indoor races break apart due to accumulated lactate and loss of coordination on the second bend. Bol maintained a low shoulder position and upright mechanics, minimizing vertical oscillation and preserving forward momentum. Her foot placement remained precise, allowing her to hold the optimal racing line without drifting wide. In contrast, several athletes behind her began to show early signs of tightening, particularly in arm carriage and stride elasticity, small inefficiencies that compound quickly at this stage. Natalia Kaczmarek executed one of the strongest races of her indoor career. Her approach was more conservative in the first lap, staying within controlled distance rather than reacting prematurely. This decision gave her the capacity to increase output in the final straight, where she produced a decisive forward lean and aggressive arm drive. Her time of 51.15 was not accidental, but the result of balanced distribution and improved closing mechanics. Importantly, she did not lose structural form under pressure, which marks progression from a national level contender to a European threat. Justina Schwente-Ercetic relied on a different model based on rhythm and experience. Her pacing was even, and she avoided any abrupt surges that could destabilize her mechanics. While this approach limited her ability to respond dynamically to late moves, it ensured that she remained competitive throughout and secured third place with 51.40. Her race highlights how stability and familiarity with indoor geometry can compensate for the lack of a decisive finishing kick. The decisive separation, however, occurred in the final 80 metres. Bol's ability to maintain relaxation under maximal fatigue distinguished her clearly. Where others showed visible deceleration through shortened stride and rising shoulders, she sustained stride length and kept ground contact efficient. This is not purely physiological but technical. Her posture and timing allowed her to delay the onset of mechanical breakdown. The result was a controlled finish in 50.64, a time that reflects not only speed but optimal energy distribution across both laps. Further back, Lika Klaver demonstrated solid baseline speed, but lacked transitional acceleration after 300 metres. Her positioning was acceptable, yet she could not convert it into a competitive finishing phase. Ama Pipi, on the other hand, achieved a personal best through disciplined pacing and improved efficiency, indicating upward progression despite not contending for the podium. From a tactical standpoint, the race reinforces several key principles of elite indoor 400-metre running. First, controlled acceleration is more valuable than early dominance. Second, positioning on the bends is not just about lane advantage but about minimizing corrective movements. Third, the ability to maintain relaxation under fatigue is the primary determinant of the final outcome. Bol executed all three components at a higher level than her competitors. Psychologically, her performance carried equal weight. Competing against strong Polish athletes in a home environment often introduces external pressure, yet she remained unaffected, showing consistent decision-making throughout the race. This composure is critical in championship settings, where variability increases. Her execution in Toruń established her not only as the fastest athlete in this field, but as the most reliable under race stress. In broader context, this final confirmed a shift in the women's indoor 400-metre landscape. The gap is no longer defined solely by peak speed, but by the integration of technique, pacing intelligence, and competitive composure. Bol's performance set a benchmark that forces others to refine not just their physical preparation, but their race models. Closing this gap will require near-perfect execution across every phase, because at this level, even minimal inefficiencies translate directly into lost meters and irreversible separation,